Nataliia. She is a researcher in the Institute for Low Temperature Physics and engineer of the National Academy of Science of Ukraine. So Nataliia, so the space is all yours.
So, buenos dias. Nice to see you. And I'm very glad and I'm very happy to be together with you today. Thanks a lot for inviting me. It's very cool. It's one of my dreams to make some similar, like you prepare conference for young women, for young scientists. It's very hard. And today I broke all of before me presentations because I didn't speak about perfect life of science. Because life of science, it's not perfect. And I don't know, maybe do you know some scientists who was born and want to start to be scientists? Because when I was born, I want to be a beautiful girl, for example, models and other, but not scientists. And when I came to my parents, say I want to be a scientist, they said, really, what's wrong with you, girl? You are not from our family. So not a perfect science life. My name is Nataliia Mysko-Krutik. I'm from Ukraine and I'm OSA Ambassador 2021. And in this beautiful slide, I need to say you some motivation quote about something interesting, about something scientific from Einstein or from other scientists, but I didn't do it. Why? Because I think its motivation quote need to be in some person and they need to prepare some self for you, and some girl from Ukraine didn't tell you what you need to do in the future. Okay, so in the end of my presentation, maybe you prepare for you some quote, and some quote will be changed in your life, some period of your life, when you study in the school, when you study in university, and when you came to industry or academia or each other. So I believe I try to prepare something motivation quote in end of my presentation. The first my slide, it will be about Ukraine. Yeah, I need to say Ukraine has a lot of neighbors because Puerto Rico, you're amazing, you are very cool, you island. So we have two seas and we have a lot of neighbors, and we are in the eastern of Europe. So we have 41 million persons, and we one of the biggest country in Europe. My story will be not so cool, not so amazing, because I was born in Ukraine, I'm studying in Ukraine, and I continue to realize myself in Ukraine. Dream of all of the students, or trailer, yeah, maybe trailer of the movie. It's typical bachelor 4 years, yeah, master's 1 or 2 years, PhD 3 years, and after that we start our perfect researcher life with Nobel Prizes, very cool lab, a lot of conferences, and we think it will be really, and we believe in it. But in real life, in my real life, it will be not like typical, because my life was, my father say, like horror movie, but I'm think it's okay. With my first step, everything was okay. I was bachelor for years, everything good. But after that, I decide I maybe want to change my major, and maybe I'm not physics, and I would like to be economist. I decided and I start to study in my second education. After that, I finish my first education. I go to my second education, and I don't know what I want to do. But after all of my life with Optica, some researcher part of my life, and I decided to be a physics. After that, I start to be ambassador, and my perfect life, like and as a lot of scientists, finished in 2019. Yeah, when our researcher life started to be online, and super mega online. And now we have a very beautiful view. We know a lot of some skills for best online, and my dog work together with me in online life. So what's wrong with my life with OSA or Optica? First 2 years when I start to study my PhD, it was absurd years. I don't know what I want. I don't understand what doesn't mind Optica, what doesn't mind OSA, SPA, and other chapters. Why chapters? Why chapters? It's not part of the book. Why people are chapters? And in that period, some people who prepare a chapter in Ukraine, they helped me to understand what's wrong and what we need to do. So my first conference of OSA was in 2016. It was FIO. It was 100th anniversary. So it was amazing. It was 300 participants of the chapters, and I try to find, I'm not trying, I find people who understand me, what they want, what we do, and what will be next. After that, we go into conference in Armenia. In this picture, you saw beautiful Nataliia this one girl, and you saw after 2 days her history about her life, and we meeting in this conference. And after that, in this year, we together OSA ambassadors. I decided to live and to change something, and I like to be a part of my chapter. We have chapter from 2007. So next year it will be 15 years, and I was on all of position of the chapter, and it was very, very cool. So if you're non-members Optica, I recommend you to participate in the chapter, because our chapters every year participate in some conference organized by OSA. And the most beautiful and one of the biggest conference, it was of course IANS, organized by Optica. We organized together two chapters from two countries, Ukraine and Romania, in 2017, Balvanos. It's Carpathian part of the mountain, so it was very cool with a lot of scientists around the world, and we make some great, very, very great conference. We celebrate our 10th anniversary with a lot of speakers. We invite all of them. We propose to speak not about perfect life, yeah, that everything will be okay, and in the world, all of scientists are waiting for you. No, in real life, people don't wait for you, and you need to push the door, special for go to some position. If you didn't do this, all of the doors will be closed. We start to travel, we participate in a lot of conference, and we of course organize the first Kharkiv regional FUMER Beauty in Science Women in Optics, and after that in another part of Ukraine in Vinnytsia. Our women's was amazing, because it was we inviting women, scientific women from all of position, from bachelor students, master students, PhD, senior, and we asked the similar questions of them how it was, and not any woman didn't say everything was okay, because all of them have some problems with their private life, with their life in science and other. So this story was very interesting. It's not typical story. I came and they loved me and we start to do a big researcher life. No, it didn't work. We celebrate a lot of days, International Day of Light, of Science, and other. We invite a lot of children, school people. We get together and it works. It really works because a lot of members of my chapter now are working abroad, but we continue to communicate together. We prepare something together. We get together always. And child of our life, it's of course our conference, condensed matter and low temperature physics. This year it was one of the biggest because it was 225 participants. Half of them was online and half of them was in our conference hall. It's very great and special for Optica, special for our organizer of IONS conference. We know how it's hard, and we understand it's some opportunity that you need to use it, you need to try it before start to be a science. You need to understand this process from part of your life. You don't need to go to conference and say, oh, I don't like this conference. No, you need to prepare your conference and understand why you don't like this conference. So I recommend you prepare something, and guys from Puerto Rico, you're amazing. My part of my researcher life. When I'm not typical, yeah, you understand, I'm a physics economist, I'm very interested in position in my life, but I finished my bachelor in low temperature physics and start my PhD in solid state physics. And in real life, I work in optics. So what's wrong with me and what's wrong with my all of positions? When people ask me what I'm doing, I'm really astrophysics. So yeah, system is broke, but now I try to understand what I'm doing in my scientific path. As you know, methane and nitrogen are very popular, yeah, and we understand that the lake of liquid methane and ethane found on Titan, Saturn, and other planets. So we need to know their structure, special for explain what's wrong with them, in what situation they are on that planets and other position.